do here?
You know what? This is just like a breath of fresh air. I'm not kidding. I think it's been day 5, day 6. I don't even know what day it is, to be honest. But it's just everyone's in it for the right reason. Everyone's in it. You have great energy. You have great people. And at the end of the day, everyone's putting aside their agendas and doing what's best for the team. And let me tell you, it is refreshing and everyone's excited to be here.
Remember when Angel Reese and Kennedy Carter thought they could get away with bullying Caitlin Clark without facing any consequences? When defenders could target the rookie with cheap shots and the referees turned a blind eye?
She needs an enforcer. She needs a brute that will wreck people if they wreck her.
That era has officially come to an end, and it ended with a statement. Sophie Cunningham just arrived at Indiana Fever training camp and delivered a message so powerful, it's sending shockwaves throughout the WNBA. This isn't just any roster addition. Cunningham, a veteran sharpshooter with a Taekwondo black belt, didn't come to Indiana quietly. She came to stand guard. And now she's emerging as the enforcer for the league's most targeted young star, Caitlin Clark. On the court, Sophie's presence has already shifted the tone. Off the court, her confidence and protective mentality have made it clear. If you come for Clark, you'll have to go through her first. In this video, we're breaking down Sophie Cunningham's performance at training camp, her powerful interviews, and why she's quickly becoming the Fever's secret weapon, not just as a shooter, but as a leader and protector.
Sometimes you need one of those players on your team. You need one of those enforcers. Every good player, by the way, every good player, every good team that is a super duper star. Most of the time have enforcer type players.
This isn't just about basketball anymore. It's about sending a message to the entire league. The Indiana Fever are done being pushed around. If you're as hyped about this new duo as we are, drop a CC and Sophie in the comments below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on all notifications so you never miss a moment of the action. Let's go! Remember when Caitlin Clark stepped into the WNBA as the most hyped player in league history? Fans were buzzing, arenas were packed, and the future of women's basketball had a new face. But as the games unfolded, the excitement quickly gave way to something far more troubling, a disturbing pattern that left fans and analysts stunned. The numbers paint a picture that's impossible to ignore. A shocking 17% of all flagrant fouls in the WNBA last season were committed against just one player, Caitlin Clark. Let that sink in.
So there's a hot topic going on right now. Caitlin Clark says she got cheap shotted against the sky. I mean, throughout the season, she's been getting beat up. Hard screens, elbows, knocked down.
One rookie, in a league filled with elite athletes, somehow became the target of nearly 1 out of every 5 of the most dangerous fouls in the game. That's not a coincidence. That's calculated. Game after game, the same story played out. Punishing screens delivered with extra force, body checks that bordered on reckless, and contact that often crossed the line from aggressive defense into outright intimidation. What should have been a celebration of the most exciting rookie debut in league history instead turned into a spotlight on a dark reality. Opponents weren't just trying to stop Clark, they were trying to send a message. But here's the thing, Caitlin Clark heard that message and responded with poise, grit, and performance. Despite the punishment, she kept showing up. She kept delivering, and that unwavering toughness, it didn't go unnoticed. The Indiana Fever, seeing what was unfolding, wasted no time in adjusting their strategy, not just tactically but culturally. The additions of veterans like Sophie Cunningham, Dana Bonner, and Natasha Howard weren't just about adding talent. They were about sending a message back to the league. This team protects its own. Cunningham in particular has emerged as a defensive enforcer, a veteran with the toughness, attitude, and experience to ensure Clark is no longer walking into games without backup.
Clark! Hammer!
When Sophie steps onto the court, you can feel the temperature shift. That extra shove, that late screen. Opponents know someone's watching now, and she's not afraid to respond. As the Fever continue building a roster around Caitlin Clark, it's clear this team isn't just built to win games. It's built to change the narrative. No more cheap shots. No more silent sidelines. Indiana has turned a corner, and they're ready to fight back with talent, toughness, and unity. If you're proud to see this shift, If you're ready to ride with a team that protects its stars and plays with heart, drop a Protect CC in the comments. Like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss a moment. The story of the WNBA is being rewritten, and Caitlin Clark is still the headline. What should have been a celebration of Caitlin Clark's remarkable talent quickly turned into a nightly gauntlet of punishment.
That's all I see. They try so long to get respect for women's basketball, and then they treat it like a junior high school girl's locker room. Junior high school girl antics on the court.
The moment she stepped on a WNBA court, it became clear she wasn't just playing basketball, she was being targeted. And it didn't take long for the worst offenders to reveal themselves. Angel Reese became the most visible antagonist, using her size, strength, and relentless physical play to rattle Clark at every opportunity. Add in a steady stream of trash, talk, and it was clear her goal wasn't just to defend, it was to disrupt. But things reached an entirely different level when Kennedy Carter delivered a brutal shoulder check to Clark during a fast break, an unnecessary hit that instantly went viral, sparking outrage across social media. These weren't hard fouls. These were statements, and those statements said, "You're not welcome here." But perhaps the most frustrating part of all, the lack of protection. Over and over, the referees swallowed their whistles. Obvious fouls that would have drawn instant calls for other stars were ignored when it came to Clark. The message was loud and clear. Caitlin would have to fight for every inch of space, with little help from the officials.
She needs an enforcer, and if it ain't gonna be me, Michelle Rappaport, like, where is Charlize Oakley? Doesn't her team have like a Zavaria McDaniels or a Rakisha Mahorn? She needs like a goon on her team, because when your star player that's bringing so much money, so much attention to the league, and it's a collective, it's a bunch of them, it's been brewing.
Through it all, Clark didn't retaliate. She didn't complain. She didn't call out players or criticize referees. She kept showing up. She kept playing. With grace, grit, and control, she navigated this storm while simultaneously trying to lead a young, inexperienced Indiana Fever team through one of the toughest rookie campaigns any player has ever faced. Her maturity in the face of that adversity, nothing short of extraordinary. Instead of breaking her, it built her. And now, with the Fever adding seasoned veterans and vocal leaders, Clark finally has the support system she deserves. The message is changing. The tone is shifting. And if you thought last season was tough, just wait to see what happens now that Caitlin Clark has backup.
Caitlin Clark was getting hit a lot. She was getting hit a lot early, and they needed their Charles Oakley. You've got that in Sophie Cunningham.
If you're ready to see Clark rise above it all and lead the Fever into a new era, drop a "No Fear for Clark" in the comments below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you never miss the next chapter in this incredible journey. Caitlin Clark never once criticized officials. She didn't call out opponents or complain to the media. Instead, she did what professionals do. She kept her head down and played through the contact, carrying herself with a level of composure and grace far beyond her rookie status. But while she may have stayed quiet, the toll was impossible to ignore. You could see it in her body language, in her movement, in the way she was often forced to alter her natural game, constantly adjusting to survive in a league that treated her more like a target than a talent.
I think that's what they were doing in the offseason. They were trying to get winners, people who know how to compete, people who want to win, and put that together with experience, people who have championships. And so when you have that type of combination, and us kind of young bucks, I'm kind of a tweener, and then you have the vets, you know, you're just trying to be a sponge, you're trying to learn, you're trying to be good now, but at the end of the day, you're trying to be the best when it's preseason, right? And so that's why you have those vets, is so you can learn from them. They've been around the game for a really long time, and that's kind of the refreshing part about being on this team, is that everybody wants to learn, and so everyone's dialed in.
Behind the scenes, the Indiana Fever front office was watching it all unfold, and they weren't just concerned, they were furious. This wasn't how you treat a generational player. This wasn't how you build a team around a rising star. They knew something had to change, and their response wasn't simply about adding more scorers or better defenders. It was strategic, intentional, and personal. They decided to build a roster engineered for protection, a team that wouldn't just support Clark's talent, but would shield her from the abuse she endured in her rookie season. The moves they made in the offseason weren't random. They were chess moves, and the message behind them was crystal clear. This will not happen again.
I think that everyone knows that we have something special here. I think a lot of teams have a lot of teams that are special, a lot of rosters that are special, but can you put it together? Can you put aside your agendas? Can you come into work every single day when you're tired, when you're sore, and still get something done and stack the days? And that's what we're doing. Today was tough, you know what I mean? Like, we've been going for a long time. They haven't been, this is not an easy training camp, I'll tell you that, but I think we're gonna be better for it. And I think if you ask anyone, everyone kind of just feels that.
Veterans with toughness, edge, and championship experience began arriving in Indiana. Players like Sophie Cunningham, Dana Bonner, and Natasha Howard. This wasn't just about skills, it was about presence. These women came with reputations. They're known for playing hard, standing tall, and not letting anyone push their teammates around. The Fever didn't just upgrade, they sent a message to the entire league. You want to play physical with Clark? Fine. But now, you'll have to go through a wall to reach her. And for the first time in her young WNBA career, Clark doesn't have to fight alone. She has teammates who will go to war for her. She has a franchise that's made her safety and success a priority. And she has a platform larger than ever, backed by a team that's ready to make noise and demand respect. If you're ready to watch this new era of Fever basketball unfold, drop a "protected and dangerous" in the comments.
What's that kind of chemistry building process been like, especially off the court?
Yeah.
Since you guys are all now in market.
You know, I don't even want to sound like this, but it's been easy. It's been easy because you have really, really great people here that want to be a part of something special. And so they're not only phenomenal athletes, but they're phenomenal people. They're out in the community. They do what's right. I don't know, we're just good stewards. And so when you're around those types of people, it's refreshing. And when I say this, I'm truly happy to be here because it hasn't been like this for my career in a really long time.
Like the video, subscribe and turn on notifications, because what's coming next might just change the league. This wasn't simply about winning more games, it was about sending a message to the entire WNBA. Targeting Caitlin Clark now comes with consequences. The Indiana Fever weren't just building a better basketball team, they were constructing a fortress, brick by brick, around their most valuable asset. No longer would Clark have to weather the storm alone. No longer would hard fouls and flagrant hits go unanswered. But with this new protective mindset came a burning question. Who would lead this shift on the court? They didn't need just another veteran. They needed an enforcer, someone fearless, someone experienced, someone who could back up her words with fire and fists and still drain threes with precision.
I'm on year 7, and I did not believe people when they're like, hey, when you get old, you're going to know. Boy, I think I'm starting to get old, and I hate saying that. But no, it's just, we play fast, right? We're going to be quick. We're a run and gun. We're a shooting team. But with that, you got to get your cardio up. With that, you have to play fast, but play smart. And so there's a fine line between that, and we're all trying to get that. There's a lot of people here, a lot of different rotations. A lot of people that you haven't played with before. So you have to know where they want the ball, when they want it, their rhythm, their style of play. And so a lot of people are learning, but it's fun, right? Everyone's excited to be here. Everyone's working hard. We've had 3 really, really good days.
Enter Sophie Cunningham, standing at 6'1", with a Taekwondo black belt and a chip on her shoulder the size of a championship trophy. Cunningham brings more than just her elite 37.8% career shooting from beyond the arc. She brings what the Fever have been missing, a warrior's mentality, and it didn't take long for her presence to shake the league.
Anytime you play with the GOAT of our team, or the GOAT of our game, you're going to learn a lot. You know, you have to be ready for the ball, head on a swivel at all times. And the way that she throws the ball is a lot how DT threw it. I think this is just the younger version of her, so she has a little bit more energy, a little bit more spunk. I miss DT in her prime, but doesn't mean she wasn't great when I played with her. But honestly, at the end of the day, everybody can shoot, right? If you're cutting and you're open, you're going to get the ball. And so you just have to be ready for that. And I'm excited for that. And I think you'll see 1 through 5 is interchangeable.
Reporters expected the usual cliches when she stepped up for her first media session in Indiana. New team, new goals, positive vibes. But Sophie Cunningham doesn't do cliches. She does truth bombs.
So grateful and blessed to have my time out in Phoenix. I met a lot of cool people. I had a lot of great teammates. I learned a lot, had a lot of great times, but just a new era for me, right? A new system, a new type of energy. And so of course I'm excited for it. I'm happy to be close to my family. I'm excited to have my teammates. So I'm started to even get close with now. And I think we're gonna be a lot of friends. And so, I don't know, it's a new vibe and I'm happy.
6 words were all it took to send shockwaves through the basketball world. I'm here to make sure nobody takes cheap shots at our players. That stops now. In an era where so many athletes default to polished PR scripts, Cunningham's raw honesty hit like a punch to the gut. It wasn't just refreshing, it was revolutionary. This wasn't a slogan.
We have entered Indiana Fever training camp day 3, and Sophie Cunningham is killing it.
It was a declaration, and it came from someone who means what she says and backs it up with every possession, every screen, every rotation. Sophie Cunningham didn't just join the Fever, she claimed ownership of their identity shift. This is no longer a team hoping to be respected. This is a team demanding it. If you're fired up for the new look Indiana Fever, type "This stops now" in the comments below. Like, subscribe, and turn on notifications, because this season it's not just about winning games, it's about changing the rules of engagement. Sophie Cunningham is uniquely suited for the protective role she now plays on the Indiana Fever, not just because of her physical presence on the court, but because of her deep foundation in discipline and athletic toughness. A black belt in Taekwondo and a fierce competitor throughout her WNBA career, Cunningham has never shied away from confrontation. That mindset makes her the perfect enforcer for a Fever team in need of a strong boundary setter and leader. But Cunningham's impact goes far beyond just standing up for Caitlin Clark. During training camp, she emphasized building a culture rooted in mutual respect and support. "It's important that we know and love each other off the court," she said, "because that naturally translates to on-court chemistry and a willingness to fight for each other." Her words reflect a deeper mission. She's not just protecting Clark, she's helping to create a culture where every player feels secure, supported, and confident. When asked directly about the rough physical treatment Clark endured during her rookie season, Cunningham didn't hold back. "That's not basketball," she stated firmly. "That's not going to happen on my watch."
She sees the Indiana Fever putting Sophie back in that 3 position, so she sees her having like more of a breakout season than she'd had at the Mercury, having to play a position that wasn't exactly natural to her. But watching the footage, it's kind of crazy because I see Sophie Cunningham now as being able to play the 1, the 2, the 3, and with her experience over at Mercury, the 4. Sophie Cunningham at the 1 as the point guard, you're crazy, you say, but no.
The clarity and conviction of her statement left no doubt. Those days of unchecked aggression and flagrant fouls are over. With her extensive experience, playing alongside legends like Diana Taurasi and Brittany Griner, Cunningham knows exactly how to manage the spotlight and the pressure that comes with it. "I understand what it's like to have every move scrutinized," she explained, underscoring her focus on protecting not just Clark's physical safety, but the team's mental resilience. What makes her presence even more valuable is how her skills complement her protective instincts. Cunningham's 37.8% career three-point shooting forces defenders to stay honest, opening up the floor for Clark to operate with more space and freedom. This dual threat, physical and strategic, makes the Fever far more dangerous. Now, opponents must consider both the athletic consequences of targeting Clark and the basketball consequences of underestimating Cunningham.
Okay, so we have Sophie with the ball. She's running it up the court. She's directing traffic. Nice pass over to, what is that, Jalen? And look at that pass over to Lexi, cross-court pass. And she seems to have evolved as a leader, like talking to everybody in the huddle.
And run, make them run. We need to be quicker than that group there. Okay.
And it looks like they were just kind of testing out Sophie as a point guard.
Beneath that sharpshooting ability lies a basketball IQ that allows her to anticipate threats before they fully materialize. While fans might admire the scoring partnership forming between Cunningham and Clark, coaches are seeing something more vital, a developing defensive anchor who leads by example. During practice sessions, Cunningham doesn't just talk about protection, she demonstrates it with consistent vocal leadership and relentless effort. Sophie Cunningham isn't just a valuable addition to the Fever roster. She's a culture setter, a protector, and a tone setter for a team that is tired of being pushed around. With her in the mix, the message is clear. The Indiana Fever will no longer be a target.
I could see Sophie just coming in for a few minutes a game and, giving Caitlin Clark a rest or anybody else a rest, starting at the 1, migrating over to the 2, whatever. She seems to be able to do it, and she isn't looking bad while doing it. She's confident. She's hitting her targets cross court, and there is more footage showing her spotting up, so she can still go over to the 2, to the 3, to the 4 even, spot up at the wing and knock down.
Sophie Cunningham's communication skills are transforming Indiana's defensive identity. During drills, her leadership is unmistakable, pointing out screens before they happen, directing teammates with clarity, and ensuring Caitlin Clark doesn't get blindsided by picks. It's like watching an on-court air traffic controller at work. This level of strategic awareness serves as an early warning system, allowing Clark to navigate the floor with confidence and focus on her offensive game, instead of constantly watching her back.
It's going to be Caitlin Clark flash show. So it's going to be phenomenal playing with a point guard, like you said, that have a good vision on the court, because that's like as soon as she gets the ball in her hand, she's throwing it up because she already see the person down the court before she even get the ball in her hand. So that's one thing I love about her vision on the court. I really can't wait to catch all those passes and give her all the assists that she needs.
Practice footage reveals the depth of Cunningham's impact. During scrimmages, she's not merely reacting to defensive breakdowns, she's preventing them altogether. Her constant communication, anticipation of offensive movement, and coordination of the entire defensive unit create a cohesive, synchronized team effort. Thanks to her presence, Clark can fully engage in leading the offense without worrying about incoming contact or defensive lapses. What makes this growing partnership between Cunningham and Clark especially powerful is how it extends off the court. Between drills, the two are often seen in deep conversation, discussing strategy, reading plays, and fine-tuning their chemistry. This rapid development of trust and understanding has laid the groundwork for in-game synergy. When the pressure rises in late-game moments, they don't need to speak. They can read each other with just a glance or a nod.
You on the court, what sort of attributes do you think you're going to bring, and where will you add to the Fever from last year to this year?
Yeah, I think I'm really just like a calming presence. I feel like I never get too high or get too low. People are like, why don't you smile more? Why don't you get excited? I'm like, I'm just chilling, I'm vibing. I feel like I'm really an observer, but I am really competitive as well. I like to run the floor, like to play defense, like to win, and I think the Fever was a place to be if I wanted to win.
Cunningham's versatility only amplifies her value to this Fever roster. Her ability to slide into multiple roles, from point guard to power forward, gives the team unmatched flexibility. Whether she's handling the ball, defending the post, or spacing the floor with her elite shooting, she adapts to whatever the team needs at any moment. That adaptability, combined with her leadership and toughness, has made her the cornerstone of a new era in Indiana, one defined by protection, accountability, and unshakable unity. Unpredictable lineup combinations are becoming one of Indiana's most potent weapons, thanks in large part to Sophie Cunningham's positional flexibility. Her ability to shift seamlessly between roles creates constant matchup problems for opposing teams. Whether the Fever needs spacing, physical defense, or playmaking, Cunningham adapts on the fly, giving Caitlin Clark different forms of support, tailored to the moment.
What excites you the most about this team that you're going to be joining?
I mean, they have dynamic pieces in CC and Kelsey Mitchell and AB, Lexi Hall. I mean, they have a great core, so why not just add to that and try to, take us to the next level in the playoffs. They were in first round, and I played against them in the first round, and the way they came back the second game, it just makes you excited to, okay, I want to be a part of that. They didn't lay down and quit. They came back and actually try to beat us really, that next game.
This dynamic not only frees Clark to be her most dangerous self, it makes it nearly impossible for defenses to settle into a rhythm. But the Cunningham-Clark connection is just the beginning. The real breakthrough lies in the ripple effect Cunningham's presence has created across the entire roster. Teammates are embracing the same protective mindset, fostering a culture where no one gets isolated and everyone stands up for each other. What started as one veteran stepping into a leadership role has evolved into a team-wide identity. Now, the Fever don't just have an enforcer, they have an army of players committed to watching each other's backs. This cultural shift is more than emotional, it's tactical. The Fever have engineered a problem that no opposing coach can easily solve. How do you stop the most electric offensive talent in a generation when she's surrounded by a roster designed not just to score, but to shield, support, and strike back?
It says the Fever depth without training camp rookie contracts. At the 1, Caitlin, Sophie, Sid, Kelsey. At the 2, Kelsey, Lexi, Sophie, Caitlin. At the 3, DB, Lexi, Sophie. At the 4, Flash, Bree, Dantas, DB, Sophie. And at the 5, AB, Dantas, Bree, and Flash. Don't see Sophie at the 5.
Indiana's front office didn't just build a team to develop over time. They constructed a fortress that's ready to win right now. Behind the scenes, this is a masterclass in modern team construction. The Fever aren't just protecting their investment in Caitlin Clark, they're maximizing it. By surrounding her with tough, skilled, selfless veterans and emerging stars, they've flipped the narrative from survival to domination. This isn't about long-term potential anymore. The Indiana Fever are here, and they're coming for everything. Overnight, Natasha Howard doesn't just bring toughness, she delivers championship pedigree. With 3 WNBA titles and a Defensive Player of the Year award under her belt, her presence immediately elevates Indiana's identity. Howard doesn't just play elite defense, she sets the tone, raises expectations, and hands the Fever a proven blueprint for building a title contender. Her arrival isn't just a roster upgrade, it's a cultural shift. That's where the genius of Indiana's front office truly shines. Every move this offseason wasn't just about collecting talent, it was about building a perfectly synchronized machine. Brianna Turner, a back-to-back all-defensive first-team selection, anchors the paint with such authority that teammates have already dubbed it a no-fly zone. Her quiet, relentless approach to defense is the ideal complement to Sophie Cunningham's vocal and aggressive leadership, creating a defensive core that gives opponents no safe spaces.
But you know, they are having fun. Case in point, Sophie and Caitlin are 2 friends that need to be separated in class for talking too much. That's actually become a meme online, like the Caitlin dancing.
Then, there's DeWanna Bonner, perhaps the most underrated acquisition of all. Her resume speaks for itself, but what she brings behind the scenes is just as valuable. Bonner's basketball IQ is off the charts. She reads the floor like a coach in uniform, and her ability to mentor younger players is already paying dividends. In training camp, whether she's breaking down a defense or pulling a rookie aside with quiet advice, Bonner's impact is felt in every detail. Together, this group isn't just talented, it's balanced, experienced, and united. With veterans who lead by both voice and example, and rising stars ready to soak up knowledge, Indiana's transformation is no longer a question of if, it's a matter of when. The Fever aren't hoping to compete, they're built to contend. What's shocking observers across the league isn't just the sheer level of individual talent on the Indiana Fever, it's how quickly this group has come together as a cohesive unit. Early reports from training camp describe an offense operating with surprising fluidity and efficiency. Caitlin Clark is already threading pinpoint passes through tight windows, finding shooters with the precision of a seasoned veteran. The ball movement is crisp, purposeful, and electric. There's an unmistakable energy on the court, the kind that usually takes months or even seasons to develop. But this team has found it in mere weeks. Everyone is in it for the right reasons, Sophie Cunningham revealed in a recent interview. We've got great energy, great people, and everyone is locked in. That chemistry is proving to be Indiana's greatest weapon. It's not just helping them play well, it's making them unpredictable and virtually unguardable. Opposing coaches now face a nightmare scenario. Focus your defense too heavily on Clark, and you leave open looks for elite scorers like Natasha, Howard, Cunningham, or DeWanna Bonner. Try to shut down the perimeter and Aaliyah Boston punishes you in the paint. Shade your help defenders toward the post, and Kelsey Mitchell or Lexi Hull will light you up from beyond the arc. It's an offensive puzzle with no right answer. Play them honestly, and Clark will dismantle you with surgical precision. The options are limited. The damage is inevitable. And perhaps most stunning of all? This overhaul, this complete reimagining of a franchise, has happened in a single off-season. The Indiana Fever have compressed what should have been a multi-year rebuild into a lightning-fast transformation. They've gone from a team scraping for identity to one now being whispered in conversations about legitimate playoff contention. But it's not just about this season. The brilliance of Indiana's front office lies in the dual path they've forged. On one hand, they've assembled a roster with the experience, toughness, and cohesion to compete for the postseason immediately. On the other, they've laid the foundation for something bigger, a sustainable dynasty led by a generational talent in Caitlin Clark, surrounded by the right mentors and role players to shape her into not just a superstar, but a champion. Natasha. Howard captured this vision perfectly when she said, "I'm excited to return to Indiana and bring my experience and toughness to this team." It's a simple quote, but it underscores a bigger truth. This team is done being overlooked. They're done being underestimated. They're not just here to improve, they're here to win. And when the 2025 season tips off, the Indiana Fever won't just look different. They'll be unrecognizable from the struggling expansion team they once were. Veterans like Howard, Cunningham, Turner, and Bonner aren't just adding skills, they're rewriting the DNA of this franchise. They're instilling a standard of excellence and protection, ensuring that Caitlin Clark and her teammates can focus solely on what they do best, play elite basketball. With chemistry already clicking, leadership firmly established, and talent at every position, one thing is crystal clear. The Indiana Fever are not building for the future anymore. The future has arrived, and they're coming for everything. They're creating a culture where physical tough play isn't just tolerated, it's matched. The message to the entire league is crystal clear. This team demands greatness, and they're willing to fight for it. What we're witnessing is nothing short of a transformation for the Indiana Fever. The partnership between Caitlin Clark and Sophie Cunningham represents a major shift in the WNBA, ushering in a new era where talent can shine without distractions. Cunningham's arrival signifies more than just the addition of a sharpshooter. It sets the tone for a culture built on mutual support, respect, and a fierce determination to win for the right reasons. The chemistry they're building off the court directly translates to what we see on the court. With Cunningham by her side, Clark is now free to focus solely on her exceptional playmaking abilities. And as the season progresses, the rest of the league should take note. This isn't just about protecting a star player. It's about reshaping the entire competitive landscape of women's basketball for years to come. If you're excited about what's happening with the Indiana Fever, comment CC and Sophie down below. Hit that like button and make sure to subscribe with notifications on so you never miss out. Don't forget to click the video on the screen, and we'll see you in the next one.